Welcome back to another video where we are looking at how to answer questions on the foundational Catholic theology paper. As you can see in front of us, we have got a described question here about Catholic charity work and how it restores human dignity. So a couple of things to think about with this question before we get going. When we get asked about Catholic charity, the exam board could ask us directly for the work of CAFOD or directly for the work of SVP, St Vincent de Paul. So in your revision, it's really important that you know both of these charities. Now, if they give you a generic one, as they have done here, you can talk about either or you could talk about both. Now, I'm going to deal with CAFOD because it's slightly more likely that that would come up as an individual question on the exam. Now, when it talks about restoring human dignity, this bit here they are looking for either Catholic social teaching or the teachings of Jesus, and linking that to the work of CAFOD. So if we're going to start with CAFOD, what we are going to want to talk about is short-term aid, which is response to natural disasters, earthquakes, those kind of things, where they're going to be providing tents, food, water, cooking equipment, and those kind of things. And then you've got long-term aid, so those things that come after short-term aid. So that might be rebuilding infrastructure, so rebuilding homes, rebuilding schools, providing farming equipment, irrigation, clean drinking water, those kind of things. Now, in terms of how you would link that back to human dignity, we could talk about the parable of the sheep and the goats, where Jesus says, "Whatsoever you do to the least of one of these, you do unto me." If we're going to talk about Catholic social teaching, we can talk about a range of things, but probably the most straightforward one is that idea of solidarity, so that we are working together and we are going through the suffering of those people in less economically developed countries. And then you could go on to your preferential option for the poor. And that by providing that short-term aid, you're getting people out of disastrous predicaments, so you're providing them with that ability to feed themselves, clothe themselves, and then that long-term aid, the ability for those people to work their way successfully and sustainably, which again is another piece of Catholic social teaching, out of poverty. So you've got a variety of ways to go about this, but again, it is really important that you spot what the question is. Because if they ask about CAFOD, you don't want to be talking about SVP and vice versa. And then if it talks about human dignity, which it often does, it's understanding that it's to return people to a state where they can live comfortably, as expressed through parables like the sheep and the goats, and Catholic social teaching like solidarity, an option for the poor.